Good afternoon, friends and traders. Welcome to Market Recap. I am Dan Hodgman. It is Monday, March 1st. A new month is upon us. The last month of the quarter, the first quarter of the month is moving along. We're going to leave it at that. I don't know if it's nicely. I don't know what it is. But we are moving through it. Stocks are up. Oil down. Gold down. And the euro and the 10-year note walk themselves sideways. Lots going on, lots of things to be paying attention. Obviously, this $1.9 trillion stimulus package is on the table. Big conversation around that. Is it going to get through? I would imagine we're pretty darn close. I think last I read, the minimum wage stuff is off the table, but they're still trying to get this thing through here. So we'll see how that works out. There's been a lot of questions if this is going to make it through. So let's see. Maybe we'll see that thing go through here in the next day or two, and I think there's some optimism because of that. That the stocks are moving higher. Little less fear. Gold is down, like we said. So things are happening, and it is Monday, so we got a long week ahead of us. Remember, take your time. Move slowly through this week. There's no rush. There's no pressure. There's no timeline upon this. This is trading. It is not a regular 9 to 5. You're not going to, just because you show up doesn't mean you're getting paid. So take your time. Be patient. Be cautious. Yeah, it's so it says right now, the notification I just got, stocks rocket higher. You know, one thing I really enjoy are the adjectives used when talking about markets getting directional. You know, there's so many of them. I think I have scream here. This one's rocket. You see spill over. It always cracks me up, the adjectives used. But this one, stocks rocket higher in broad rally to start March. The S&P 500 jumps 2% for its best day since June. So big move there. Blew through that weekly kickoff high right up to 3,900 BFRN. Big fat round number. 4,000 is the next step. What do you guys think? When are we going to get there? Are we going to get there? What are your thoughts on that one? Like we said, crude oil spilled over here a little bit today. You notice that adjective usage there. Crude oil did take a little bit of a tumble. Down from the high to low, $3 from last night to our low here today. Is this strictly just looking for new buyers to come in and continue this directional move? Or are we saying, hey, you know what? Let's push this thing back down. We overbought it. Let's get back to more fair value. That's going to be the big question there. And like I said, gold spilling over. I want to say hello to everyone. Murph, so many opportunities today. Hope y'all got a piece. Couldn't agree more with that one. Sean, good to see you. Bill, Tanya. Bill, where is everyone? Who is everyone we're talking about there, Bill? JD, the dancing bear, made it to the room. Magnum, good to see you. Same with Brian's. Let's see, Sean. Dan, I sent you an email last week regarding a trading plan question, but I'm not sure if I have the correct email address. Did you receive it? Sean, I'm not really sure. I don't really use that email too much. I'm not really going through and responding to all the traders that do email in. Definitely don't have the capacity for that. But if it's something you'd like to look into, we can. I'll take a look and see if there's something I can do to help you out there. Magnum, I did send you one as well. Let me know if you got that email. Awesome. All right, everybody. What do we got news-wise? Stocks higher. Analysts are starting to say electric vehicle stocks could soar 50% this year. Well, no. Duh. We saw it last year with Tesla. Prime example. We got a lot more electric vehicle companies coming out. I think the big talk is stimulus right now. Bitcoin is at a tipping point, could become currency of choice for global trade. That's what Citibank's saying. I don't know about that one. That's just my personal thought. I think it takes a lot more. I think we're starting to see other places saying no to cryptocurrency at this point. But do I think cryptocurrency has a place in our future? I absolutely do. The technology behind the blockchain, I think there's a lot to it. But something like Bitcoin, the question really revolves around it because there's such a finite amount. How is that going to correlate? How is that usable? Those are my big questions around things like Bitcoin, because there is a limited number of Bitcoin out there. Could be good, could be bad. It's going to be an interesting one. James, good to see you as well. All right, guys, let's go ahead, take a look at our charts here, and we'll go from there. All righty. As always, let's go ahead and start with our crude oil. Like we said, crude oil did spill over. Oh, come on. Here we go. Crude oil opened up this morning, and I think this is probably where a lot of people got stopped out. Would not be surprised. We've been on a nice trend higher. That's what we've been seeing in this market. That's been the conversation in the last, I want to say, 2.5 to 3 days of trading. We talked about it here. Are we getting to a point where buyers are getting exhausted and sellers might have a chance to overpower? We saw that move Friday, but the overnight session gapped open. The market took off like a bat out of hell almost, up to 62.92, and then from there the break happened. We got a chance to short here. We had that chance off the open. We came right down to settlement price. And like I said, this is a place being okay, being long here. Everything says this is a decent long. We're right by prior day low. We are at settlement price. This market has been extremely strong to the upside. Hard to argue with that. We take that long, we get stopped out. That's okay. That is okay if you got stopped out in this trade. This market then finally showed us direction has changed. Short time frame, we're looking at like 2.5, 3 days, like I said, but directionally, short time frame, the move is lower. So let's make sure we're being extremely patient. If we start to see this market show some strength, start to look at where those buyers are coming in. What's our delta showing us? What are things that we're seeing? Where's that order flow? Is this really going to go, or is this just that finding fair value, attracting new sellers to continue this sell to the downside? So this market, like I said, moved $3 from last night, 62.92, all the way up to 59.96. I like seeing it get back into the 50s. I had to fill my truck the other day, and that one was the most expensive fill-up I've had in quite some time. Next, let's go ahead and look at the S&P 500. Market opened up. No inclination, no even attempt to look towards settlement price, 38.09. Market rallied all day long. We were looking for pullbacks. We wanted to get in this. The market told us this. We knew good news was coming, and that's exactly what happened here. We got a little bit of weakness here. A little bit after the open, right around lunchtime, we saw some weakness. It was an opportunity to say, let's see if I can excuse me. That cough still has not left me. We got a little bit of weakness here. Market did continue to press higher. Here's what we're noticing. Continue to keep an eye on this 30.58. 30.58 has been extremely pivotal the last week or so. That happens to be weekly kickoff high this week. Obviously, we've moved through that. Good opportunity there. But if this market does rotate over, make sure you keep an eye on 38.58. It has been very opportunistic and paying out nicely. Next, let's go ahead and look at the Nasdaq, which is good to see Nasdaq get some buyers here and work itself up and back above that 13,000 mark. Remember, settlement price all the way down here at 12,911. But just like S&P, this market opened up, really made no attempt to look inside Friday's value area. Never made it to look down to settlement price. The race was on to the upside. We came right just shy of a prior swing high. Always be paying attention to those prior swing highs and prior swing lows. And just like S&P, right around lunchtime, 11:30 here, we got a little bit of a break. This, to me, was our best opportunity to buy that long. Remember, weakness and a trend to the upside. We're looking for those weak points to get in to set up for an asymmetric opportunity. All right, 1 second. Want to make one adjustment here. There we go. All right, next, let's go ahead and look at gold. Gold has been just continuously working lower. 1758. It's a price I've talked about quite a few times in the last month or so. This market rallied right up to it last night, and from there, and notice how it came into that prior opening range, prior area of support. We broke through it on Friday, rallied back up to it in the overnight session, and the break was on, and we got our chance during the open. The open really stuttered. It showed no interest, showed no attraction to buyers. This market struggled all morning to accept any buyers. What does that tell us? Buying is weak, selling is strong. Let's get it on the short side here. and we came just shy of Friday's value area and swing low. Next, let's go ahead and look at the euro. I am also having issues with my 10-year note chart, so unfortunately, I'll just kind of do a brief walkthrough after we take a look at these. Euro, like I said, relatively choppy day. Off the open, we worked a Friday swing low. After the close, too, really a difficult trade here. Extreme chop. This is a market we want to find some more direction in. We've been moving lower. We're seeing the strength. We're catching those shorts, and maybe that's about what we're getting. And we made multiple attempts towards that overnight low. That's really what I'm seeing here. I'm watching that Friday into the open from last night and Friday's swing low. That's an area I'm going to keep an eye on, and I'm always paying attention to overnight highs and overnight lows. So a couple things just to keep an eye on in those charts. Remember, I've talked about it a lot lately. Tanya and I know we had that conversation earlier. I look at those overnight levels. To me, overnight participation is important. Watching where those markets react at specific levels. Those are things that are extremely important to me. They're some of the first levels I write down in every single market that I am trading. I want to watch those overnight levels. I want to watch how the market reacts as they approach to them. And I'm looking for opportunities, no doubt about it. So like I said, my 10-year note chart is not working great right now. It's taken a while to load. I got a lot going on this computer right now. I think I got about 5 trading platforms going. So it's working a little slow right now. The 10-year note, we opened up. We rallied to some overnight consolidation. From there, we broke towards some Friday consolidation. It was a choppy day. And again, the one thing I can't stress enough, if you're trading in the treasuries, remember we have rolled. We are in the June contract. We are in the June contract as it applies to the 10-year note. The one thing I can't stress enough, if you're trading treasuries, 10-year, 5-year, 30-year, ultra bond, whatever it is that you're trading, stops incredibly tight. As simple as that. You want to set up for some opportunities. These are expensive ticks. So keep those stops tight. Give yourself a couple opportunities in the day. These markets tend to do that if they are range bound. If they're directional, we got to wait for that little bit of a pullback or that little bit of the little bit of pullback, the strength or the weakness there in the opposite direction of what the market's moving. That's what we're looking for to be able to get in on that trade, because these things can be a steamroller. If it gets directional, it's hard to get out of the way of that thing. So just be conscious of that. Magnum, awesome. Glad you saw that. Tanya, too many religious groups warn against a global currency for it to really take hold across the board without some major shifts. Yeah, Tanya, I don't think, the way I look at these cryptocurrencies, I think there's validity in the blockchain. If that's where we store, in a sense, like a checking account or savings account, for sure. For transfer of funds, absolutely. Where I think it just won't take hold is it would require for these things to become the new way. It requires governments to come in and support and back that currency. And let's be realistic. The U.S. is not going to want to have a currency that they can't, in a sense, print more if they need to stimulate and put into the economy, especially, the U.S. dollar. Most countries, a lot of countries, their debt is based in U.S. dollars. So stuff like that, it's going to be tough. Maybe these smaller, much smaller countries, maybe there's an opportunity there. We'll see what happens. That's just me off on a whim here. Anyhow, I digress. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of our stocks here. Tesla back up a little bit, $718 a share. Airbnb, we're back making a little bit of money on that one, $196.42. Bitcoin, speaking of, Bitcoin right now, 48,750. We've been stalling out. It's been really struggling to get more directional. We've kind of been floating this 55 down to 45. We've kind of fallen into that range. Does that mean it's run out of steam? Are we going to move this thing lower to try and bring in some new excitement? That's going to be my question. I'm curious to see how that one reacts. GameStop, boy, oh boy, up another 18.5% today, $120.40. And the VIX, quiet. Stocks are moving higher. VIX isn't going to do a whole lot. Stays pretty quiet down at 23.4. All right. Tomorrow, no major news coming out. Nothing really worth to even think about. But don't forget Friday, the employment situation. We're going to have unemployment numbers. We're going to have non-farm payrolls, private payrolls. So make sure you're thinking about that one. So be smart to start the week if that could lead to, because that could lead to some good opportunity there. Other than that, guys, that's what we got here today. Let's go ahead and take a quick glance at this date in history. I think I had one or two. First one, 1961, President Kennedy established the Peace Corps. And my other one, this is one of my favorite places in the world, and I'll tell you a quick story about it after, and then I'll sign on out. In 1872, Yellowstone Park was established. It was 1872. President Grant signed the bill creating the first national park at Yellowstone, which is pretty awesome. One of my favorite places in the world. I've been there, gosh, I don't know, 10, 12 times. And I got a story about 15 years ago or so. Maybe 12 years ago. We were there and we were going to Old Faithful in the middle of winter. It was like right around New Year's. And you could only go in on tracked vehicles. And so we rented a bus with tracks on it. It was pretty darn cool. And we got stuck in a buffalo herd going down the road. And so we had to stop. It was a crossing. And we had a buffalo come up to the side of our bus. And this is a small school bus. I mean, it held 30 or 40 people, 30 people, I think. And you got the bison, or the buffalo, whichever it is, leaning up against the bus, scratching its back, and he almost tipped us over, lifted us up on 2 tracks. It was pretty wild. Anyhow, that's my story for today. On that note, guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign on out of here. John will be back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Central Time. Don't forget, Coach's Playbook tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Central Time. I hope you guys have you there. I hope the comments work in that one. I don't know what's been going on with that. Other than that, you guys, that's what I got. So have a great night. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Trade smart and trade well. John will be back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Central Time with the market forecast. Until then, trade smart, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the markets. Take care, everybody.